Now, a new report out shows that owners of Fitbit and similar devices are having their information possibly sold to the highest bidder. Now, this report, published by the Center for Digital Democracy and American University Studies, it studied the health wearables like Fitbit and the Apple Watch, which I think both are ridiculous ideas, but hey, if you've got one, not going to hate on you. Now, of course, people use this to track things like how much exercise they've had, how many steps they've taken, how much activity they've logged on a daily basis, how long they were inactive, to try to get themselves to be a little bit more healthy. Hey, I've got no problem with that, right? Now, they've also studied how that data was handled once it was collected by the Fitbit, where it goes, and who gets access to it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what did they find? Well, what they found was troubling, essentially. Now, they found that in addition to not having any privacy safeguards, they also found that multiple industries are ready and willing to mine this system for profit. Now, as you might be aware, there's a lot of advertisers out there. There's a lot of corporations. There's a lot of big pharmaceutical companies that are more than interested in finding out your personal health data. And according to this research, they can actually get it fairly easily. And while there are benefits to connected health systems, like, for example, personalized insurance policies and improved emergency services, there's also a huge potential for abuse. And essentially that abuse happens when you connect anything to the internet and share any of your information out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, here's before you start, here's my opinion on this, right? I don't like this. I don't like being monitored, okay? It makes me uneasy. And look, when it comes to the whole Fitbit thing, I'm a fat ass. So I really don't like people monitoring how fat I am. It makes me uncomfortable.
Okay. See, I don't own a Fitbit or anything like it, so I don't really know. I mean, to my knowledge, it just kind of keeps track of your steps, right? Or does it do more than that?
I think it depends on the models that you have. But
Okay,
again,
yeah.
I
See,
don't know.
that's one thing. When I looked at this article, I realized how not fluent I am in those products. Like I'll
Right.
see people I know, like they look down, and I think they're looking at a watch or something. They're like, "I've only taken 9,000 steps, and I'm supposed to take derp derp derp," and I'm like, okay. You know, if you have one and you like it, all power to you. I'm not trying to judge, but
Right.
I've just never had the desire to own one myself. So I don't know what all. I mean, if they just sell to advertisers how many steps you take in a day or what your average is, I mean, what could they really do with that? I mean, it seems like they could be like, do you want to take more steps? We'll buy this. Or you're taking a lot of steps, but do you want to take even more? Like I don't know
I don't know.
what they would do with that information.
Maybe things like fitness enhancers,
Yeah.
multivitamins, water bottles. I mean, special formulated health bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, but
Targeted
wouldn't
right
that
at
be
you.
stuff that you would just advertise to anybody that has that product anyway? I mean, if you have that product, clearly you're concerned about your health to some degree, or you have a friend or family member that's concerned about your health and bought you one, whatever it may be. So wouldn't they also want to pummel you with like protein powders and vitamins and shakes and exercise machines, whatever it may be? I mean, wouldn't that kind of be the next step anyway? I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what all information your Fitbit would give, but it would probably, I mean, maybe it know, like, does it monitor, like, where you go? Because then
Yes.
that's just getting
Yes.
Orwellian and creepy.
Yeah. It
Because it's like,
actually.
okay, so advertisers know that you go to Starbucks 2 times a day, and you go to wherever else once a day, and you shop at this grocery store. Because then, you know, I mean, then you could really
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
some kind
See,
of intrusive,
that's the thing.
targeted marketing.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. Because if you're connected to the internet, which I assume these devices are, or
Hmm.
very soon will be, as this article is alluding to, then yeah, they can get your location data. They can figure out
Hmm.
where you're going, and they can target you with, hey, go to the store around the corner and buy some protein shakes, you fat ass. You could do that. I mean, and or here, you're 22,000 steps away from the gym. You should go.
Yeah,
Because again,
right.
you're fat. I
Oh
mean,
man. Yeah, that there is a
that
certain creepiness
it
element
isn't it?
to it. Like you hear this voice, it's like, I've noticed you didn't go to your Starbucks today and it's after 3 and you're like, "Oh, I had an appointment today and you're creeping me out, Siri."
Why
Or
am I?
whatever version of Siri it is.
Why are you talking to me like this?
Right?
Like maybe I didn't want a coffee today,
Yeah, it is like putting in place for one of those like apocalyptic the machine takes over movies. You
right?
know, like the machine notices you don't go to the store the same time in a day, and then it gets mad, and then it kills you and
What's
takes over society. And it all
what's the
starts
matter,
with a
Dave?
Fitbit.
Yeah.
So maybe
Ooh.
reconsider some of your holiday shopping this year.
What's the matter, Dave? You didn't
Yeah,
go to
right.
Starbucks today. Oh my God, you're creeping me out. But no,
But to
look,
be fair, I don't know what all a Fitbit because I don't own one, so I don't,
right.
so unfair. I mean, maybe some folks in the comments can kind of enlighten
Yeah.
both because do you have one?
What?
You don't do one either.
No.
Okay, so neither of us do one.
Yeah.
So
No.
we both are not users of the
Good.
product.
Why?
Um,
Because like I'm somebody who, first of all, I don't exercise. Let's be honest. Okay. As I said, I'm a fat ass. But when I did exercise, okay. So speaking of awkward, right? I was the guy at the gym that didn't like people watching him exercise. Okay.
all right. So
So
what did you do?
so I was the one who would wait until the gym is nearly empty to do so.
All
Okay.
right.
Or
So like you went really late at night or
yeah,
really early in the
or
morning or what did you do?
I went early in the day. Okay.
Okay.
And if there are a couple of people in there, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But a full gym couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Okay. So
Why?
I'm like, I didn't like being watched, which is ironic
Jeff,
because I'm on
Jeff,
a
do you
show.
think anyone gives a shit? Do you think anybody
No, no,
wants
no.
to watch you
This is,
exercise?
but see, this was back in the day, right? This is back before I started doing this. Now I'm
So
like,
people
I don't give
might
a
have
fuck.
wanted to watch you exercise? Is that what you're saying? Like back in the day when I exercised, it was pretty awesome.
It
These
kind of
days,
was.
no one
It
wants to
kind of was.
watch.
Yeah, it kind of was. Yeah. But no, look, I was just that kind of guy, right? Back
All
then,
right,
because I
all
didn't
right.
want extra attention. Um, Now look at me. I suck up all the attention now.
You look fine.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way. So look, I didn't like the idea of being watched, right? Especially when I worked out. You know this. But see, now it's different because yeah, while I'm fine with like working out in front of people now, I don't like being spied on and having my information sold to a for-profit corporation. That bothers me much, much more.
You're
Okay.
being way too particular here, Jeff. You can't have it all right? You either
All right.
you either get your information shipped away or you have to deal with a couple people
No, I'm
watching you
fine
on
with
the
it.
elliptical.
I'm
You have to
actually
pick one.
no, I'm actually fine with being watched when I exercise now. That's
All
back
right,
when I
good.
was, as I said, I was a very shy person back in the day. Not anymore. Um,
Yeah.
Now the report says many of these devices are already being integrated into a growing big data digital health and marketing ecosystem, which is focused on gathering and monetizing personal health data in order to influence consumer behavior. Now, if that ecosystem is allowed to grow and evolve with no safeguards for privacy, the report claims that the extent and nature of data collection will be unprecedented, which gets to your point. The ads will get creepier. Okay.
I mean, that already happens. There's already I get like kind of direct targeted things on Facebook and stuff like that, where it's like they know, the music that I like and the places I like to go, and some of that's through my own accord. Like I'll
Right.
be checked in somewhere or something like that, or like I'll do stuff on Yelp. I mean, I was at a restaurant the other day, and they wanted me to check in on Yelp. And I don't like doing that. I really do not like doing that.
Right.
But if you did it, you got a free dessert.
Ooh.
So I said, all right, screw
Yeah.
it. And what are
Like,
they going to do with that? I mean, like, they know that I like Tibetan food. I'm very open about the fact that I like Tibetan food. I've
sure.
talked about it on many a public forums, and I'm talking about it right now. It's one of my favorite types of cuisine. Not the easiest thing in the world to find. So if there were more Tibetan restaurants out there, I would actually appreciate knowing about it. If I could get like a Tibetan restaurant app everywhere I go, finding the nearest Tibetan place if there is one, I'd be okay with that. Um, but But yeah, I guess my point is that, yeah, I mean, some of it we give away,
Sure.
and we get those kind of targeted messages, those targeted ads, and that's one thing. But when you're just going about your day, and because something is tracing your steps, but it knows where you go,
Yeah.
that just kind of adds a level of creepy.
See, that's the whole point, though. There's a difference between you voluntarily giving up your data and, the things that you like. And you know that, yeah, of course, the corporations, if I tell the corporation that I like something, it's going to try and sell me more of that. Okay, that's pretty obvious and understandable. No, nothing too creepy about that, right? It's when it's when they take the data that you don't allow them to have, and then they use it to monetize off of. That's creepy. And in order to deliver some weird ads, like say you go to some freaky sex sites, right? And you don't want people knowing that. I mean, it goes back to our conversation last week. Okay, you go to some freaky shit, right? And they collect all this, they scoop up all this data, and then boom, they're serving you Facebook ads with stuff related to the freaky shit you're into, while you're just trying to
while you're just trying to show your great aunt some pictures that are only available on Facebook.
Right.
It's like, oh, what's that ad for Sex Dungeon 11? That's okay. You have some hobbies.
What is that? Do you have something to tell me, young man? That's what.
No, I feel you, dude. And hey, like getting back to my Tibetan story, now the powers that be, they know that hey, if we ever want to know where Ron is, all we got to do is offer him some free rice pudding, and he'll just let us know. He'll check in, be like, "There's rice pudding." Check in. I'm like, all right, I don't know if this is going to be okay in the big scheme of things, but I want some rice pudding in the short term.
Right. Which, by the way, is actually quite delicious.
Oh, rice pudding, dude. Yeah. And this was some good stuff, too.
Believe me.
Yeah. It was the best rice pudding.
It was the best.
Believe me, I know more than the rice pudding generals about rice pudding, and this was
Wrong.
the best rice pudding.
Wrong.
I had to put a stop on that one. You do not.
It was
know
a rice
more.
pudding. It was a rice pudding hybrid. It was like part wall of rice pudding and part fence of rice pudding. It was.
But again, as I said, don't sell my data. Stop collecting the data. Let's get some privacy, okay? Because there are some things you just don't want the entire world to fucking know about you. You know what I mean? At least that's me. I'm a paranoid motherfucker though. So I'm not quite to level of Alex Jones paranoid, but I'm a little paranoid, and I like my privacy. So, hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.